let's have a talk about cause and effect. Now, this is about the recent topic where Lisa Zapata, Lily, I've been having a lot of trouble with Lisa Zapata. Lisa Zapata trying to get me head on a skateboard, making sure the board doesn't land, make sure it isn't, sharing attributes to my channel. I was going to say about her on stage is that literally America, society holds you up to her standard. Lily, and when she starts acting dumb, it isn't her fault. Because what did I call out? That she was standard, and everybody else was still making the pussy wet. I'm like, okay, well, guess what, Lily? We're 1,000 boyfriends online. Lily, this, and that. Knowing that I'm gonna move on to the next one. They present her as a challenge, but I'm a pimp that tosses her. I'm like, whatever. The real truth that I'm talking to everybody about, Lily trying to manipulate me, think I'm gonna fall for this and that, is I'm calling out my anime. Me supposed to have my own anime. What I do is I laugh at her trouble, literally, and I say it is what it is. And I'm like, why won't you let her be hot by herself? And that's the entire being of why I sent James the Funimation. Because I told Sean it was the last resort. Literally, I'm gonna literally call James. I'll hang out, with those arrogant Negroes. Arrogant black folk. Literally, I'll top his shit every time I go to a convention. I'm like, Sean, I'm bringing James. This is the last resort. Made me fall in love with getting the pussy wet because they're actual standard, they're actual real people, they're a complete Cartoon Network, Ben 10, Jimmy Neutron. What ends up happening when you're partying with them on the street, they end up trapped in a cartoon due to how many crimes they piled up before they got into the studio. So I told Sean, don't make me do this, I don't want to bring James, and guess what ends up happening? I'm known as undefeatable, literally in a rap battle and a cartoon battle in a company. Whooping people like Gom, whooping people like Country. And asses like Giovanni with ease. Guess what ends up happening to James? He ends up in second place, ends up imitating, mocking my dance moves. Shows auto-tune, shows you that you have something to get past. Almost beats Eris, which is legendary, and has never been done before in the company when Eris wins by a long slide. I end up coming back lately with the Ben 10 theme song, really with the episode that actually shows money. Literally, it was when we played that one song about being single, all the above. It was so amazing, literally. They were walking in the beginning. Bob, Lon, Sean, and all these people who hide behind lessons say that James is a shit. And here he came. He almost beat the champion. Because there wasn't no come versus come. Lessons literally hide behind. Mad City Fender, Samurai Jack. No, he looks dead on Drake. He's long nose, he's short like me, he wears glasses, and he's light skinned. This is very important because what they do is they have me share my soul with some very cardiac arrest. And what that's connected to is a government conspiracy theory, somebody telling the truth. Real life, my health really is just like Cartoon Network. What ends up happening is I end up in a drowsy state like this morning. I'll start raving around, literally I can't move around a lot, literally, and I'm wondering what I'm going to do by one. It feels like there's syrup in my system, literally, so down to a point where I feel like I'm watching Bat Pat. The reason why that is cops are trying to attack your autism on paper. Literally, I know everything about how blood can share your soul with something, not just with people, but with objects. You know that bloods can create new people? Literally, bloods can create zombies. Nothing matters, that's the police's angle, but I learned something. Literally, at Alpha and Omega, I learned that Matt took acid to being white and royalty, and I have royalty in a gang. To look at like people like Robert Jackson and Reese, going around. What I call out BS, literally, guess what she says in my head? Yeah, that bitch complaining about pussy and your problems. So I'm like, so you only want to make autism for people who die instead of great people like Martin Luther King? Here's the fact about cause and effect. So let's get into the video. What is cause and effect? Cause and effect literally is when we have things literally that are above autism, but they're bringing down literally to a situation where it is autism. If you don't want to make a difference, it's you defeat the purpose of college. If you bring it down to a hood anyway, what ends up happening is the uncle starts getting over it. And what that means is because he's been in the military or because he has more street knowledge, right? Literally because he rapes, because he's been in a situation that's always up and down and never stays flat. He can call out something. He can call out, I'm going to all this miscellaneous adventures. I may be reading, shit like I can only hang with my brother, Lily, but I'm doing something amazing. Lily, I'm actually going somewhere that autistic kid is not. So what ends up happening, right, is he reads this thing like, your 3 kids are imaginary. You have this complex, where it comes to Elsie. And what ends up happening, profoundly, is that literally he can still live his own life. He can still drive his car. He can still do this and that. And, what I call out, literally, is things just like that. Literally, I could be having my anime, or you could do this, and that, literally, and that's how I get over. The biggest thing that I know is people making the same excuse, literally, with the meat on paper, having the meat do something home. I know where gang they're in, literally. I understand they're so with somebody, literally, and then I come at them like, but that's gonna help me get a job. If our naked woman wasn't in the way, I tell them they can't have their cake and eat it too, literally. And then what ends up happening? They align and they do their own shit. Wait for the right opportunity to attack. And so then I say, so don't pretend that you're not making the same statement. Then I go Sunny and say acting differently. This is serious shit, literally. Go look up the song by Wheatus that's called Teenage Dirtbag, and they literally sing the well in the lyrics of the song. It's the best beat, literally, at anything the autistic kid to download on his iPod. And here's the point that I'm making, what cause effect. Because what ends up happening is they take it away in the future. That's why me and the Arrow both had, a conversation about feeling sorry for autism at 30 and why it's the amendment. Basic Cops Douchebags, literally, is that song has better lyrics, a better beat, and better anything you can ever fucking think of. And in the hood, that's why they're in charge. Literally, you came with us like this, and that. Okay, let's get past Wheatus. That's exactly how L first starts. You get further knowledge that Lily steals that low music just like me and just were her friends from college, this, and that. Auntie told her to calm down, Lily, that they stole that music. With all these facts, all these fun facts, and then the police call out what's a whole. For doing so, that point that I'm making would cause effect. Why I damn near showed you, Lily, that $1, Lily, you can perform like 100. If that's the case, when they're telling you to stop doing in the past in high school, stop Lily, whining, Lily, get your shit together. That means no double implying for gangs. That means no double implying that 1 means 100. That means, Lily, you can breeze through life with no catch-22 if you fucking work hard. See, they structure that in order for the artistic kid to be wrong, and that's the government. So you're saying that, Lily, if you stop, drilling, stop feeling sorry for yourself, you can pick yourself back up, put yourself together, and thousands of dollars, keep a job for over 32 years, and party like me in San Francisco with a hot lady. The amendment flat out said to you that there's a catch-22. Like bullshit, that's why I gang, that's why a gang calls out about police. You see how there wasn't a single fucking stop boundary play a song. That's why I don't believe Lee was finding his family. Lee was letting $1 fucking outweigh 100. Even if you disagree, I'll just explain it and they bring it back to autism anyway. And that's the thing, Lee. The police don't want to, admit the growth between, a full-on, Asian kid that has good grades, Lily. This will all equal in the government, Lily, is that equivalent to an autistic kid. When we have a story I have on YouTube where it shows Isaiah, who is clearly better than me at everything. The whole point of this is, Lily, I'll call out the lesbian cops calling out what is home, Lily, but knowing everything, like the cop that was in the judge that was in my head became a bus driver, Mr. Tater is one of them. Calling out the outside, Lily, of me scoring, Lily, and what she can do, Lily, is another one of them. Call out just live life, Lily. If you eat good food, Lily, read. Go out and stop making excuses for yourself. Your life could be beautiful, Lily, and you figured out something that people who have their job for over 30 years, have something special to them. I don't know why, because they're not in relationships. And so I say it, Lily, let's see like Ramon, and everybody else, who kept their job for over 30 years getting through a relationship. That's literally how cause and effect works. As I told them personally, it hurts me because they're calling out the whole thing. See how you called The Last Resort with Sean Schimmel, and they still called out what was whole? That's cause and effect. Another one of the main examples of why my iPod didn't work. I know that could be a gangster stopping the ground. That could be used on Lily stopping shit with his foot in space. It's also mean that I had concrete songs on my iPod lately, so the word is irresponsible. So I replied, by reading a book, so you only make music for artistic people to kill themselves? This is a song that sound just like Dominique and Bobby with tons of rhyming. And I'm treated like I don't know what I'm talking about. Cause about to go through Chabot. I can tell Chabot is for ghetto people, Lily. So, the response for that is that we have advanced courses. I'm doing all that shit, Lily. They affect my body, this, and that, Lily. And then they say, Lily, if you don't feel sorry for autism, when I just made skills, I just made, Lily, a whole anime for autism, Lily, and a program to back it up. Especially that program I was doing with Adrian Abdul. I'm trying to improve the school system. So you can watch Nons, Lily, like how you went home and came to watch Naruto. Because the anime does through your subconscious, we have to change society. You can literally be arrested right now by somebody, literally, in their head, literally, what I'm doing research will click at the same time and said, I know what your uncle said to you, motherfucker. Because a lot of uncles think like me and calls out what happens when you just have a bop and weave. Another fun fact I know about, autism, in the military, is that the military allows you, to get your character expressed, but not on the level of purple, not on the level of a boy Robert Wilson, but on paper, Lily, it's fair because you're physically strong. You can talk about the person you just knocked out. Somebody can come up to you and test you, and you can prove your rank. You can make jokes afterwards. The military offers you a whole bunch of shit that is Chris Brown. Autism, when they join gangs, goes in between transitions of society, which is why they blow itself up on the outside. And the whole nerd and linear shit, that's also part cause and effect. And trust me, I've been saying this for ages. What I call out ultimately is you want me to go back to, every reaction doesn't have a reaction. he can finally get me like, high school. And I'm like, yo, I just got done walking CeeLo. A cop literally was driving, literally they went to a parking lot, but they did a U-turn around. Literally, I was still walking CeeLo. I kept walking because I had standard on, I had my purple feelers. Then I kept walking naturally, and then I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Literally, then I wanted to walk back, literally, but then something stopped, like, the service sheet of that's in space. CeeLo didn't go forward, so the cop literally, as they keep going, literally goes another U-turn, versus the one he already had. Literally wouldn't be and CeeLo walking, so he slows down just a little bit, but then he speeds up, let me know he goes on the highway. Literally, and then what happens is, I look back, literally, I looked back before he was there, but then when I look back and actually did the whole walk like fuck it, I'm going back to the house right now, literally he wasn't there. All cause and effect, and just remember, if you don't want me to call out cause and effect, and just validate my anime. That's obviously the half situation. If I have no self-control, things that don't make me look scrawny, by a six-pack, then you need to respect it. Because I called out Sean and Chris's gang, literally, they didn't help me with my mom when it came to school. What happens to a normal gangster is that they negotiate. They don't use the whole black room and run line, and that's the most important part of this video. Is that where it comes my mother is angle. With the Varia, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna use the whole black room and run line and compare it to He-Man. While literally I'm in the fault because when you use the black room, you're in the fault, and when you don't, when you negotiate, with the company, literally they validate you. Literally, that I learned another part of the company is it being attacked, by a gang member, and you have to let go of it. And Adrian made that mistake, but overall, negotiating where it's hella funny in the fucking studio, Lily, and you're not, at the level of Anakin Skywalker. You're laughing with the fucking auntie. Oh, he's purple. Oh, he's in 4. Sees the other 4. That's what usually happens in my shit. Literally, when you get destroyed by dice with the girls, really only happens, in round 2.